The purpose of this event is, and I really want to reiterate the fact that, a lot of times on a college campus, we have perceptions that really drive the way that we see each other. And this holds true even within the Black and African community. And so it really is an interesting conversation to have within our own community to see how we see each other. And so I want to encourage you to think outside of your box, think outside of the stereotypes that you have developed and created in your minds, but also I want to encourage you to challenge each other to think differently. What are those unique aspects of your background that make you who you are?
For me, personally, I kind of agree with Sunny. I love being Black. It's not all of who I am, but it's part of my identity. I feel like just growing up, going to predominantly white schools, I was always kind of picked on and just teased for the way I spoke, just how I actually, spoke properly and just things like that, and just, going to these schools where I had to defend myself and I had to be strong. You learn how to have thick skin. And so I feel like when I was younger, I used to question, why am I the way I am? Why do I look this way? But now I wouldn't change it for the world, because it's made me the person I am today, resilient, someone who can actually, stand on her own 2 feet. And so, just that, just the values that my family has instilled in me as being someone who's Black, it's just something, it's just that experience. And so I wouldn't trade it for the world.
When you have a certain perception of how people are or how you think people should be, we often idealize other people, and we have a perception of them that's very idealistic in our minds, that they all are good-hearted, that they all want the best things from us, and that we all live in harmony. And I think that's the place where we all want to go and we all want to be. But I think there are often times, and I think in the earlier part of the discussion, I heard a lot about communication and misunderstanding. And so those are some of the things. I think it's not so much that African Americans don't want to get to know you. I think it's just that miscommunication or that misunderstanding, or just not being familiar with the culture enough or comfortable enough to approach you. And so I think that is at the root of a lot of the conflict that we see within the Black and African culture, but even outside of the culture when we look at our relationships with our majority peers around us. And so I think that's an important point to make as well, is that just because it's difficult to bridge those gaps doesn't mean that we don't want to in our hearts. So just wanted to say that.
And I'll say that the main reason why I think there's a big division between African Americans and Africans is that for us, our Black history starts from slavery. In school, we don't learn about anything prior to slavery. We learn that Black people's history started at slavery. Therefore, we don't understand and we can't connect with you guys, because I feel like Africans, you guys have more, y'all are more in tune with your history. Y'all have more pride. Y'all are more educated in your background. So we can't relate to you. We can't understand the way you dress, the way you carry yourselves. Because to us, I don't want to say it like that, but to us, just like our history starts at slavery, your history starts at slavery. We don't see anything past that, because that's not what we're taught. So we learn from slavery to whatever they tell us about Martin Luther King, to whatever they tell us about Rosa Parks, until now. So we don't really get to learn about you guys, therefore we can't be close until we can educate ourselves. And so I think that's what the division lies.
Have you ever been mistaken for an African American? Do you think people treat you differently after they find out that you are African and not African American?
I walk up to someone, and the first impression is I'm African American until I open my mouth to speak. So the accent, it betrays me. I can't just. That's me. That's who I am, and I can't trade it for anything else. I mean, I love it. So people actually do love it. They say, "Oh, I like your accent." I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Sometimes, sometimes yes, it sounds good. At other times, they might actually be saying it to start another conversation, which leads me to the next point. The moment they realize you're African, the first impression is the same impression the media portrays about Africa, that I am poor. I'm starving, and this is my lifeline. And that is so wrong. That is so wrong. Prior to coming here, I had a very good job. I was privileged to have a good job that took me around the world. I've been to countries, I've been to continents, and I'm so far from being poor. So someone who got the color of my skin and conclude that this guy is poor, that is so wrong, and that is one big prejudice that I always have to deal with on a daily basis. I think for some people, especially the Caucasians, they express interest. Once they hear that accent, they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm from Nigeria. Okay, they try to know more about your country, but then the way the questions go, people might not want to tell you in your face about those assumptions they have, those things, those pictures they have at the back of their minds. But if you're intelligent, you'll catch them, and I think it's my job, or it's my right to disabuse people of such impressions using a forum like this.